Hey y'all, welcome back to Light and Heavy. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm doing a little voiceover since I recorded this and just did it like a first person view walkthrough of the museum here at the Blessed Stanley Rother Shrine. So as you enter into the museum, you'll see kind of the first zone here that is his time with his family in Okarche, Oklahoma. And Okarche is a farming town. And fun fact, has the oldest bar in the whole state of Oklahoma at Ishins. You can still go there and get some fried chicken. And has a little booklet for the kids to see his family. You can see a childhood photo of him and see his whole family there. It also then leads into the second part here, which is his time in the seminary life. In his senior year in high school, he said, I want to become a priest, and first went down to San Antonio where he flunked out, and they said that he wasn't basically capable of learning Latin and philosophy, but he was able to go back to seminary in Emmitsburg, Maryland, got tutors, got help, and eventually was ordained in 1963. And so here you'll see some of like his original vestments, a cassock, his apostolic blessing from Pope John the 23rd, the chalice that his parents made for him, some student class photos of him. Then you got a beautiful timeline of his life, of his family. There's his cake topper right there for his ordination cake, and his sweatshirt that you can see. He also helped build the shrine up there in Emmitsburg for Our Lady of Lourdes, so you'll see that as well. There's some pictures of his family, of his ordination, and his family portrait right there when he became a priest, as well as his sister, who became a religious sister as well. And then this leads into the third zone, which is kind of our largest area in the museum. That'll walk you through his time in Guatemala. We have a beautiful map here that will show you where Guatemala is in Central America, and then blows up into kind of the small, beautiful lake called Lake Antitlan in Santiago Antitlan. And he was on the south side of the lake is where the main church was. I mean, he went all around the lake to serve all the various villages and small towns and all the people there. You'll see here there's a little hut, and the hut, really demonstrates the poverty that many people faced in that area. You see these cutouts of these women and girls, and that is their actual height. They were very small because of the malnutrition that they all faced, and that was one of the first things he started was a farming co-op there, using his farming experience to try and help build up a better nutrition for the women, children, men, just everybody in those villages. And then you'll see a loom here because part of the economy was just kind of mercantile weaving, beads, different crafts from the women, and the men did more hard labor in agriculture and fishing and anything else that they could try and do. There you'll see some artifacts of Blessed Stanley, his scarf, and he liked to smoke his pipes. So you have various pipes there. And then this is one of my favorite pieces right here. Even though he struggled with Latin, he had not only learned Spanish, but helped learn this specific dialect called Sutujil. And that red book right there is the New Testament translated in that language. It's the first time that ever happened for them, which was huge. And he also celebrated the Mass in their language. And you can press a button there in the museum and you can hear the language being spoken. And there on the wall is a picture of basically Santiago Apostol, the Church of St. James the Greater, or St. James the Apostle. And then there's other little island pictures, and it'll tell you more information of the different things that he did, help building schools, the agriculture, like I mentioned, the radio station, and all sorts of things that he did in his 13 years down in Guatemala. And then this is the second part of the timeline through 1981. More pictures, more videos. There's a stole right there that he wore in his time in Santiago Antitlan. So this right here was a beautiful quote that Blessed Stanley had was, my life is for the people, is for God and for the people that I serve. And then this quote right here from the Christmas message is very transformational. It's really kind of his motto, where he says, "The shepherd cannot run at the first sign of danger." And that he wrote that on his Christmas message in 1980, at the most dangerous time that he was there. This leads into zone number 4, that really walks people through the conflict in the Civil War that was fighting in Guatemala that lasted for the better part of 30 years. And each candle right there represents 3,000 lives lost in Guatemala alone. Over 200,000 lives, sadly, were lost. Just horrible infighting between communist regimes, guerrillas, and just general dictator and the government, and just everything in between. And unfortunately, Stanley and many villagers were just caught in the middle. And as he'll explain in the museum, in July 28th, 1981, he was shot twice in the middle of the night by 3 masked men and were murdered. And as you see, there's the first words out there, they killed Padre Francisco. These are some of the artifacts that they found at his in his rectory the night that they killed him. That picture is of the casket when they brought his body back to Okarchi, and his heart was left down in Guatemala, and that was a crucifix from Guatemala. And then finally, this last zone in the museum is all about sainthood and the path to sainthood. And there on the left, it gives you the steps on how one becomes a saint, a little interactive screen, the icon, pictures. And it talks a little bit more about the mission. Archbishop Coakley has a little message explaining the mission of Blessed Stanley, his canonization process, and the shrine in general. And then there's more things and items that were made down in Guatemala. So that will wrap it up for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching and listening. If you like, hit the like button, subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll probably have one more video showing the Shrine Church next. And until the next one, God bless.